Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1457. 3 sleeps to go. And that's a wrap for 2023 IGHR. It has been an intense week. We had our final morning this morning. Got the homework in on time I actually got the homework on time. I actually got in last night. It was due before class started this morning, but I got in late last night. My goal was to be done with everything before 10 o'clock and to be in bed not long after that. And we made it. We got the assignment in before 10 Pacific time. And I was in bed before 10:30. And lights out before 11 o'clock. And that's probably the earliest night I've had the entire week. I slept a solid 5 hours and woke up with a splitting headache, which I will admit I sometimes get if I sleep too hard. So yes, I woke up with a headache, and so just got up and got moving for the day, went and showered and dressed and got ready to take the dog out for her walk. Oh, excuse me. Suddenly I'm very tired. Took her for her morning walk. It was probably the coolest temperature we've had all week. In fact, that we've had all month for morning walks, and it was 87 degrees. It was very nice, actually. It was very pleasant. But I do have to tell you a funny story about last night, though, because we went for a walk after last night. So last night we're out walking. And they have sprinklers all over the park, and they have clusters of sprinklers that come on at certain times. And I was looking at the time going, I think there's supposed to be some sprinkling. Which of those sprinklers are supposed to be coming on? Because some of them come on our walk, so we have to reconfigure our walk to walk around the wet areas because Zeffie doesn't like getting wet. So I'm walking along there, and we go off on the side path that can help us do a loop. So we go off on the side path, and Zeffie decides it's time to poop. So she's out there on the grass pooping. There's a woman that's walking down the hill there with her little dog. I think it might have been a poodle of some sort. It was a small dog, and the dog was off the leash, and so it suddenly spotted Zeffie, and so starts coming towards Zeffie while Zeffie's pooping, and this woman's calling this dog, calling it. It comes right up to Zeffie, and they're doing their greeting thing while Zeffie's still pooping, and then I hear the pipes, and I'm like, oh, the sprinklers are about to come on right where we are. Sure enough, within seconds, the sprinklers were on, full thing going, doing their stuff and all of that. And Zeffie's sort of like, what do I do? And I still got to pick up her poop. So I pick up her poop. The sprinklers are going on around us. And I'm like, okay, they haven't actually fully touched us yet. We're good. We can figure our way through the pattern. And I was just sort of like, oh, screw this. I got to get to the trash can. It's over there. Walk right through the spray of water. Zeffie walks through, and she's like, stop, shake, stop, shake. 2 steps, stop, shake. The whole way to the trash can. Then once we got past the trash can, which was out of the wet zone, she's like, 5 steps, stop, shake. But she actually got caught. And I knew at some point, somewhere along the way, over the last 2.5 years that we've been in this area, because even at the campground, we had times that the sprinklers would go up, and I would know what time the sprinklers go up, and I'd time our walks to not get. But somebody went and changed the schedule one day, and my fear was that she'd be pooping, and the sprinklers would come on, and I got to go pick up the poop. Well, it finally happened. Not at the campground, here in the neighborhood. So yeah, that was our. And I'm just laughing, and my poor dog. I looked down at her, and she's like, don't like water, Mama. She's got this such a sad. Yeah, I'm talking about you. She has such this pathetic look on her face, like, because she really does not like getting wet. If it was raining and I went to take her outside while it was raining, because there's storms and you can only go out when it's raining, she would stay inside the RV. She would not move off the top step. I'd actually have to go in there, pick her up, and walk out with her to get her outside, unless the awning was out. If the awning was out, she'd come out under the awning. But then it was easier to get her to keep moving. But she wouldn't like rain jackets or anything like that we put on that we give her. She did not like those at all. But yeah, so that was our entertainment last night. This morning we had no problems with any of the sprinklers coming on because because they were down in the very far field that we didn't get to. We have walked all the way down there, but we didn't this morning. and because I heard them come on before we got there. I mean, you can hear these things come on from a distance away. It's amazing. And so we just stayed away from that area. But we got back here, got breakfast, and then got online, and our first class of the day, straight into it, was DNA evidence. And what was really cool about this is I had done that DNA training back in December last year. So for me, when they're talking about the Y DNA, the X DNA, the mitochondrial, the autosomal, it was all very much of a review. And the cool part is that what the instructor did this time is that she did, she had, what was it, an hour and 15 minutes. So she spent a small portion of the time going through what the different types of DNA testing are, what they show. She spent a lot more, so she just sort of kind of glanced over the Y DNA and the mitochondrial, mentioned a little bit about the X DNA in there, then got into the autosomal, which is the one that everybody seems to know about because that's what you get with Ancestry, and then walked us through case studies in her own family of how she used the DNA and the genealogical matches and how to marry the two of those together. So how to use the DNA to get through those roadblocks, how to use the DNA to match up because DNA will prove the blood relationship. Genealogy shows how you are related. And so she was showing us how she used DNA and genealogy together to be able to help solve some family mysteries of who was connected to who and this, that, and the other thing. It was fascinating. I was just like, oh, I am so there with that. And then our next class, and then we only had like a 15-minute break. So we've been 30 minutes the last week, but they were trying to get the day short as possible. So we had a 15-minute break, and then we went through exercises about correlating evidence and things. And again, it was a case study that was shown to us, and it was shown how to find the evidence and put it all together to be able to come to your conclusion. So you start with your research question, and then we're finding evidence to try and prove or disprove the question. And well, that was really, really cool. It was a lot of fun, that one, and listening to the way that that our instructor found were able to put together this information from her own family tree. And that's really cool with these classes, is that they bring us real life experiences. They will tell us up front, this is from a client and I have their permission to use the first names, or this is for my own family tree, da 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 da. And then we had another 15-minute break, and then we had where to go from here, which was sort of like the sum up thing. We went over our project homework from the night before, and I'm looking at her, and she's going through some of the steps and stuff, and I'm like thinking, yep, did that. Oh, I did that, but I didn't get that conclusion out of it. Oh, interesting. So it was interesting to see how other people see the same things that you see, but interpret them different. And so that was kind of interesting to see. I thought, yeah, I did use that manual, and yep, I looked at that one. Oh, but I didn't know about that. Oh, okay. So you're sitting there doing all this sort of like, I'm going to try that one for now. Oh, that'll work with on that client sheet. Where's that client to do? And I've got my little client to do lists. Pull up, just didn't write that down, and yeah, go check that. And so it was really cool. And then she talking through about, how with genealogy, it is a continual learning process. You don't just go to one class and stop. You keep learning. And so we're learning about some of the some of the accreditations that you can get as a genealogist. And we've had town hall meetings for two of them this week, the board certified and the certified accredited genealogist. So we're talking about, and the accredited genealogist is the one who's specific and is an expert in one area, in one region, as in the world map. The other one is more general. So one's on mythology, and not mythology as in Greek fables and all that sort of stuff, but methodology. That's the right. It's Friday. Methodology. And so one's more concentrated on methodology. The other one is more really specific. And so the two of them together would complement very well. So I'm sort of like, okay, how do we fit that into the schedule now? And then that was it. We were done. And I'm sort of like, oh. And I sat back in the chair and we looked at Zeph and I went, we're done. Huh. So I started doing some other things, and I was like, okay, well, I could go get some lunch. And I thought, well, let's go get some lunch to celebrate. And I'm sort of like, oh, it's lunchtime for everybody else because it's like 11:30 when we finished. I didn't realize we were going to finish so early. But we finished around 11:30. And I thought, oh, well, we can go get some lunch. Just go out, celebrate, and have, go get something for lunch and celebrate the whole week being over. And then I looked at the time and went, oh, everybody else will be going to lunch right now. Let's wait till later. And then, because I don't like getting caught up in rushes and lunches and long drive-throughs and that sort of thing. That's what's good about having a somewhat flexible schedule on things. But so I was just sort of like sitting here thinking, I was working on some other stuff, and I was like, I really don't feel like working on this. I'm not going to work on this. And for some reason, I just got very emotional. All of a sudden, the whole stress of the week finally caught up with me. And because I struggled this week with concentrating on things. It was just really hard, and I was just constantly tired. I've been constantly tired the entire week, and everything, the stress of the class, the stress of not sleeping very well, the struggles with trying to stay awake just suddenly just caught up with me, and the emotional wall just crumbled. And so I was like, screw this. And I was meant to go, I was going to go and pick up the mail. And I was like, if I go pick up the mail, it means I'm going to stop by either this takeout place, this one, or this one. And I don't need that food. So at the same time, I'm having this mental battle of like, I need to go do this. Yes, you need to go do that, but you're not going to do it right now because the emotional state that you're in right now means that we're going to have to deal with emotional eating or emotional shopping. And we're not going to do either. Because those trips would be without Zeffie in the car simply because of the heat and the fact that I've got to get out of the car to go into the place to get the mail, and I can't leave her in the car by herself. So you see the look she's giving me, like, yeah, you're not leaving me in no car. And so I ended up having this emotional thing, and I thought, you know what, screw it. Yes, I was planning on working on some boxes. I was planning on doing some stuff on with my clients' genealogy and things. I've got lists made up to do. And then I had somebody contact me via through Ancestry, and they said, oh, yeah, you can help me. Can you help me with information on my paternal great grandmother? And this is her name. I see you have her in a tree. And I'm like thinking, well, the tree I have her in is cut off private. Well, because she's dead, the name will show up. It's cut off private. And I'm sort of like, oh, no, I can't, because that's a client's tree. And so I sent her back a message going, I'm sorry, I would love to be able to help you, but this tree actually belongs to a client of mine. It is not my tree to be able to give information from. If you want to give me your name and contact information, I can contact the client and find out from her if it is okay to release information that is on that tree. I said, otherwise I can't do it. And so I'm waiting to hear back from that one. So basically, yeah. So I've had, that's the first time I've had somebody contact me about a client's tree. And so like, yeah, I can't give them the information. It's not my information to give. Yes, I've worked on their tree and I created the tree for them and it's my work there, but I was paid to do that by a client. So therefore I can't, in good conscience, go out and give them that information that I was looking for a client. So we'll wait and see if it comes back, if the person comes back to want to go further with it or not, so that I can then put the client in contact with this person or get the client's permission to release the information. So until then, and the client's permission would have to be in writing, so there's no blowbacks on anybody's part. So we will see if we get any further information on that one. But yeah, so this afternoon's been very emotional. So I just basically planted myself on the couch in front of the TV, and what did I do? I binge watched SWAT. I've been watching the SWAT series on Netflix, and just like 1, maybe 2 episodes a night. And then today, I think I've watched 5 today. You can see why my eyes are so red. I was going to go and lay down and nap, and I was like, nope, I don't want to do that. I want to stay awake as much as possible. But I haven't actually felt as tired today as I have the last few days. And like the lunchtime was a 90-minute lunch break. So I would go and nap for like about an hour or 45 minutes to an hour, then get up and go and make my lunch and then come back and get on class again. And that kept me going for the afternoon. So I haven't had a nap today. Yay. But some days the days don't go perfect. But as I told everybody this morning, no matter what happens, today is always super fantastic and sparkling. But we had one of the instructors we've had this week. He heard me say that this morning, and he was sort of like, "No, there are no sparkles. It dazzles." I said, "Dazzles is sparkles. That works." I don't think he was expecting that sort of effect, but it's out there. He liked dazzle. I like sparkle. To me, they both do the same thing. You just call it different names. That's fine with me. But they got to hear the brief story about how that saying came about, and they, being the genealogists that they all are, they all got a good chuckle out when I told them that on Brad's headstone, on his headstone, it's got his information on one side, it's got my information on the other side, but underneath it says, "Today is always super fantastic and sparkling." And being genealogists they are, they were just laughing at that one. But I'm also thinking, years later, when they come back to that tombstone, it's got both of our information on there, they're going to go, "What's with this saying?" But there will be plenty of stories out there to tell them the story behind that saying as to what it is. It will be written in books. It'll be passed down through the generations of that's why that saying is on there. No matter what the day is throwing at you, there is some sparkle left in the day. And it is always a super fantastic sparkling day. So I had to remind myself of that several times this afternoon, that no matter what happens, today is always super fantastic and sparkling. I can be having an emotional breakdown like I did today, this afternoon, just wanting to eat anything and everything. Unfortunately, I don't have that much bad food in the house. There's a little less of it, but there's still bad food in the house, but not as much as what there would have been had I gone out for a drive. Because there would have been frozen custard, there would have been fries, there would have been sodas, maybe milkshakes instead of sodas. Yeah, so I just stayed inside and drank water. Had a pizza in the freezer, so I heated that up and ate that over the afternoon. It was yummy. Had a Canadian bacon and pineapple on it. One of my favorites. And somehow Zeffie knew whenever I got up to get a piece of pizza, because I'll go and sit down and all of a sudden she'll be sitting on the couch next to me just looking at me, with a look of expectation on her face. And then and then as soon as I finish my piece of pizza, she'd disappear and come back in here and get up on her chair here. And I tell you, she spends more time in that chair than I. She spends so much time in that chair. I'm lucky if I get to sit in it once, maybe twice a week. And actually recline in it. But I don't get to recline in it for very long because she sits there and just looks at me. "You're in my chair." And she looks at you in such a way that you feel guilty because you're sitting in her chair. But it's probably just my imagination running away with me, but I get up anyway, and so she can go back into her chair. Spoiled rotten princess, I know. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm actually going to make an attempt on the lawn. Apparently the property management got complaints from the homeowners association again that we're not maintaining the lawn. And I'm like, what can I do with dead lawn? It's dead. Well, at least it looks, it's got a little green rim around the edge. And I said, it looks no different. I said, it looks a lot tidier now than it was before they sent the landscapers in to fix it up, which should have been done before I moved in. But there's just as much dead grass on there as there was back then as well. So that's going to be an interesting thing to go. Maybe I should just introduce the idea of putting astroturf in there, putting the artificial turf in there, because it's not a very big piece of lawn out there. It is not that big of a piece of lawn. And it would look much better, and they'd never get a complaint from the homeowners association again about the dead lawn. So anyway, got a dead lawn to go mow tomorrow. I can't believe I'm going to go mow a dead lawn tomorrow, but apparently it looks scraggy. It needs to be cleaned up. So I'm going to be out there early in the morning in 90-degree heat mowing a dead lawn. It's a push mower. It'll take me maybe 5-10 minutes just to push, because and I've got a rake. I probably have to rake it too. I need one of those things. When did I last have a rake? Oh, that would have been back in Virginia. Yeah, I don't have a rake no more. So I've got to get a rake, get a sprinkler. There is an in-ground watering system. I have no idea how it works. There's no manuals for it. I don't even know where to turn it on. There's this complicated thing of pipes on the side of the house where there's an outdoor tap. And then there's these levers and things, and I don't see a timer on there anywhere. Maybe that's what's in the little round thing. It's the thing that's about this round and about this thick. Maybe that's where the timer is. I don't know. But I can't see any other sort of timer or anything anywhere else around the house. We've been for a walk around the outside of the house to have a look. And I know where the electric stuff is and the electric panels and everything else. And oh yeah, and then my solar installation got moved from the management company sent me a message saying, oh, we have to move your installation from August 3rd. I'm like, it's only taken them so many weeks to actually get this thing doing, this appointment in place. And they said, we can do it this week. And I said, okay, the only day I've got available on that week is this day here. They're like, okay. And then they came back 2 days later to say, yes, you're booked in for that day. Oh my goodness. I don't know. It's just, so this has been my week with these little things coming up over the week that I just kind of like dealt with as I could immediately, thinking I'll get back to them later. And then just the accumulation of everything with the stress, the classes, the homework, because we had one project that went all week. We've had 3 homework assignments throughout the week as well. Then apparently there was a scavenger hunt that was done for the whole conference, which I totally forgot about. I forgot to print it off and everything else. I'm like, go for it. I'm good. So it's been a very interesting week this week, but I'm glad I did it. It's a lot of great learning stuff done. I've got to-do lists up the wazoo for what to do for clients' trees that they have. And I said, oh, I could go look at that. Oh, I could use that record. And then one site that I need to go and have a look at, I can't get on because the site's currently down and it's a government site, so who knows when it'll be back up. And then another government site is busy moving stuff around on the website from one website to another website. And so there's broken links. There's broken links as in they don't work. And then there's links that will take you to places that you weren't supposed, that's like, how did I get here? This is not where it was supposed to go. So we'll give them a few months to settle down and my to-do list will wait quite happily. There's a lot of other stuff to go on. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and just relax and let loose this weekend. Just find a way to get back to self. That's what this weekend's going to be doing. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to unpack book, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, da, 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 da. And today, as I was sitting there watching SWAT, I was sort of like, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever the day feels like. One thing I will do is I will cut dead grass. So it looks tiny. But I sent it to the management company going, why? This is what it looked like before the landscapers turned up. This was after the landscapers. And look, it still looks the same. Is it the dead grass? Because it was already dead when I moved in. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic, sparkling weekend. Go with the flow. Do whatever it is you feel like doing. And just have fun this weekend. Let's just all blob out and have fun this weekend. Just doing whatever we feel like doing at the time. Live in the moment. Don't think, oh, well, I have to do this. And then this time I'm going to go do this. You know, oops, excuse me. The only thing I'm going to be going for at certain time is at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. The mail place opens, so I'll go pick up my mail. But that's it. And then I'll come home. Yes. Anyway, go have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. We will catch you guys tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey,